to stay progress.
This is Ted DiBiase, the $1 million man.
Hey, this is Bob Backlund. Hey, everyone, this is Rick Stanley.
This is the Honky Tonk Man, the greatest WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time.
This is your wrestling show, Ottawa.
Heck, they could use you guys over in WWE.
You're listening to the greatest wrestling show in the whole wide world.
This is Wrestling with Ideas.
Welcome back inside the CKDJ studios right here for Wrestling with Ideas on CKDJ 1079, Ottawa's new music. How's it going, guys? It's Colin the Music Man Scully here. And alongside me this week, making his return to the show, Hope, the man with no excuses, Jonathan Skuse.
Hello, everybody out there in radio and podcast land. How are we doing today?
Well, I mean, Extreme Rules was a pay-per-view, and Raw and Smackdown happened. So let's just get straight into let's get extreme. All right. So before we get into the overall, we're gonna do a review of each match on the card here a little bit. But before we get into that, John, what did you think overall of this past Sunday's pay-per-view?
I thought the pay-per-view on Sunday was great. It was a breath of fresh air that we needed after some lackluster pay-per-views that we just sat through a couple months ago. And I thought Extreme Rules was a solid B-plus pay-per-view, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the SmackDown talent on that show.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll get to the main event later, but how much does it say about a wrestling company where the IC title is main eventing the show?
Yeah, I thought that was strange that the fact that the Universal title doesn't show up. You give the WWE title some time to shine, but no, they're pulling out stops with Raw being the number one brand, and now we had the IC title held by Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins challenging Iron Man match, main event, Extreme Rules.
Right. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre is one of the things that I have so many questions about, but we'll save that for when we get to talking about the main event. Let's talk about the kickoff show first. In the first match on the kickoff show that I did not have the chance to see, we had Andrade Cien Almas defeating Sin Cara. It was a match. I saw it after.
I mean, if you thought Sin Cara was going to win, you should think twice, because
if you thought Sin Cara was going to win, you should stop watching wrestling.
Sin Cara is at the point of his career where he's going to become kind of like R-Truth is now.
Is R-Truth when was the last time R-Truth actually wrestled in a match?
I don't know the last time he wrestled. It might have been a Golden Truth match the last time he wrestled, but he is on SmackDown with Ty Dillinger right now.
Is he really?
He is.
Okay. All right. Anyways, now we've got the next match, second match on the kickoff show, Sanity defeating New Day in a tables match.
I mean, it was a good match. It was a tables match, one of the few stip matches we had at Extreme Rules.
There weren't that many. How many? There were maybe like 3 at the most, I think.
There was an Iron Man match. There was a tables match. There was an Extreme Rules match for the women's title. There was a Shark Cage match. And there must be another one that I'm drawing blanks on right now.
Steel Cage.
Yeah, the Steel Cage match.
Right. Pre-show did its job. Was a pre-show. Sanity got the win, something I'm happy about. I'm happy to finally see Sanity getting some time on the main roster. We've needed a cult-like trio tag team stable for a while.
Since the Wyatts broke up.
Sorry?
Since the Wyatts broke up.
Yeah, more or less. It doesn't help that their entrance is just crap in general.
Yeah, the one thing I'm not a big fan of about Sanity's entrance is the fact that it starts with we got a 16 chopper flying, and then a minute later you hear bop, ba-da, ba-da. Yeah. Like, why not just cut straight to the music?
They sound like they're trying to be the Shield.
But when the Shield did it, it worked because there was sense, because they were spelling out the Shield. Sanity is just gibberish before the music.
Well, I mean, it is.
They didn't say, it's insane. It's Chopper 14, what do you report? All right, stand by, and then bop, ba-da, ba-da.
That's going to be a soundbite later. Just you going bop.
Anytime Sanity's mentioned, bop, ba-da, ba-da.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. The first match on the main card here.
What a spectacular, what a wonderful match it was.
The B team defeated the leaders of worlds by pinfall to
And new Raw Tag Team Champions, the B Team.
Now, the promo, I don't know if you had the chance to see the promo that Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel cut after on the stage with Renee Young. It wasn't
great, but then again, the most we've seen from their promo side since they've lost The Miz was them impersonating Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. So I wasn't really paying attention. I don't think many people were. I think after they saw they won the title, people went to the fridge for another beer or went to the bathroom. I don't think many people saw that. I know I didn't, and had to rewatch it later.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting too much from them. I'm happy that they are the tag team champions, and I look forward to their future.
See, here's the thing with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. When Curtis Axel, back when he started, for those of you guys who don't know, he had a good run as a Paul Heyman guy.
Yep.
He held the IC title once or twice. I
think it was once.
Once?
I know he's an Intercontinental Champion. I've never heard Michael Cole say, 2-time Intercontinental Champion.
Well, I mean, we've heard Michael Cole say things that aren't exactly true.
Michinoku Driver.
Yeah. Michael Cole saying Michinoku Driver pisses me off just as much as Kevin Kelly saying super kick. Have you heard Kevin Kelly say so you understand what I mean
That's
here.
vintage Kevin Kelly.
That's Don't get me started with Kurt Angle. Speaking of Kurt Angle, we've got Kurt Angle issuing the ultimatum to Brock Lesnar.
It was very good. Kurt Angle looked generally cranky with Lesnar whenever he was cutting his promo.
Yeah, but Kurt Angle always looks generally cranky when he's cutting promos.
Yeah, but in his voice, like he was like, Brock, get here or don't show up at all. Like he was making the angry face.
He sounds like he's what it's like is if you listen back to episode 100 of Wrestling with Ideas, you were the one that made us do Vince McMahon impressions.
Yeah.
And then him doing this with that, trying to be all angry and stuff like that. It's like my Vince McMahon impression. It was it was not good.
Yeah, Kurt Angle was the happy guy, and even when he was a heel, he was the happy guy, and now he's just the GM and angry, but he has every right to be angry with Brock Lesnar not showing up to work, and then showing up to challenge Daniel Cormier, right?
Yeah. Now, for those of you who didn't actually have the chance to see Extreme Rules and are questioning what this ultimatum was, more or less, because you guys probably know, even if you didn't see Extreme Rules, that Brock Lesnar didn't exactly show up for work. And he hasn't exactly shown up for work since the greatest Royal Rumble, I believe.
I think that's a safe assumption. We've seen Paul Heyman show up to work, but we have not
seen... He showed up, yes.
He showed up on Raw afterwards.
Yeah. But the ultimatum was, Angle gave him 3 options. He were to show up on Monday night, which didn't happen, negotiate the next Universal Championship match, or get stripped of the title.
I was hoping he was going to get stripped of the title.
As was I, but then again at the same time, as we're going to talk about later in the show, this opens up possibilities, as it was announced on Raw that Kurt Angle had announced that Brock Lesnar will be at SummerSlam. Which opens up the possibility, finally, of us seeing that Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar match that everyone was hyping up from the beginning.
Everybody
when Bobby
said,
Lashley came back the Raw after
everybody
Mania.
Said. They said Bobby Lashley's here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to take something off of Brock Lesnar or to go against Brock Lesnar, and it hasn't happened yet, but we might get it now.
Now that the whole shtick with Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley.
If we're done with Roman Reigns, that is.
Well,
you're never truly done with Roman Reigns.
You're never truly. I'm not talking. You know how much
the big dog.
Okay, we'll talk about Roman Reigns later. Next up, Finn Balor defeating
Constable.
No, it's Finn Balor defeating Stephanie McMahon's personally appointed constable of Monday Night Raw, Baron Corbin. Now, John, what are your thoughts on the entire Constable Corbin gimmick?
I like him more now than I ever did. And I was never a big Baron Corbin guy. I absolutely detested him. I would make my anti-Baron Corbin voice heard. I even started a Facebook page for a little while called Baron Corbin is a Wanker, but I regret that. That page is down now. I actually kind of like Baron Corbin now. Ever since he cut his hair, I think he's been getting better in the ring. I like him.
Yeah, he's been getting better in the ring, but his mic skills,
they're still bad.
Yeah. Like, that promo that he cut, that one Raw, like a month ago maybe, I think I tweeted out, and then someone, I think it was Marco, that had tweeted like the picture of a garbage fire or something like that.
The dumpster fire.
The dumpster fire. He's a worse promo than Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin, like, I don't know if you guys understand this. It is extremely hard. That's probably the hardest thing in wrestling to do, is to be worse at a promo than Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy to be worse than Roman, but if you're trying and you're still worse than Roman, that's an entirely different story. Baron Corbin.
Why would you try to be worse than Roman Reigns?
If you're a heel, how would you get booze? By being terrible. So if you're terrible on purpose,
Yeah, I guess.
but you don't see that much ever.
No. Up next, SmackDown Women's Championship.
The sexy pinata. James Ellsworth,
James
not
Ellsworth?
Chris Jericho in the shark cage. It was James Ellsworth's turn to stand in the shark cage.
Is he still the intergender champion is my question now.
Yeah, it's his title. He made it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't dropped it yet.
So
I'm
it's like
fairly
Ted
certain.
DiBiase with the $1 million belt.
No, because the WWE brought it back, but it was never seen on not WWE television. Like, he didn't bring it with him to WCW.
Right.
But it is his own thing, quite like that.
Yep. I have a question for whoever the hell is booking WWE right now. Why is Carmella a champion?
Dear Road Dogg. Well, Carmella's champion because she had the briefcase and Money in the Bank was coming quick. And they said, well, we got to do something with this briefcase so we can get the next one in circulation.
What?
And they just haven't decided, I guess, to take the title off of Carmella yet. But it did bring us Ellsworth back, and that's worth it. And, well, Asuka's not the one who's going to beat Carmella. We're going to have to look for somebody else.
Who beats Carmella?
Well, after this week, which we'll talk about later, I hope it's Becky. I hope she's not getting fed to Carmella, because really Carmella should be on the other end, being fed to the champion. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I want Becky to be the one to take it off of Carmella, but with a roster that has Asuka, Charlotte, Becky, newly appointed Iconics, you got Mandy Rose is getting some stuff going. You got, not Sarah Logan, Sonya Deville. There's a great women's division on SmackDown. You even have, like, Naomi there. She was a women's champion. The roster is stacked, so by putting, I don't want to say the weakest, but the weakest as your champion, you're supposed to think that anybody can take it. But so far, nobody's taken it off of Carmella, and she wins in her heel ways with help from Ellsworth.
No, she wins in James Ellsworth's heel ways.
Well, I mean, in the sense that Asuka was too busy beating up James Ellsworth to focus on Carmella. It's Asuka's own fault, right?
Yeah, sure. All right. Now we've got Shinsuke Nakamura defeating Jeff Hardy via pinfall
In 6 seconds.
in 6 seconds to win the United States Championship here. Now there's a video off of this on this here that I'm looking at. Let's see. This might just be the entire match.
Is it a Vine?
It's a GIF.
A GIF.
Oh,
Yeah, the
he
entire
punched. He punched Jeff Hardy, and to quote Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com, he punched Jeff Hardy right in the penis.
Hey, yo, that's consensual penis. Enzo Amore in the building. Bada boom, realest guy in the room. How you doing?
Please tell me you're only making that joke because you're wearing a Cup of Haters t-shirt right now.
What do we got over here? Cup of haters.
Okay,
Bada boom.
that has to be another.
But yes, Shinsuke Nakamura in this match was very much a hater,
But
especially to Jeff Hardy's testicles.
right now there was after the match though, someone that we haven't seen for a while.
Yeah, we got a little out of nowhere without the out of nowhere part. In the sense that Randy Orton came back and for no reason just started beating up Jeff Hardy. And Shinsuke's watching, he's making faces, he's clenching onto his new U.S. title.
When isn't Shinsuke making faces?
I don't know.
Like really, when isn't Shinsuke? Like you're never gonna see him.
Sorry, no English.
No, speak English. We're both getting sued. But
But yeah, no, it was nobody knows why Randy Orton is doing what he's doing. And the next match, which I popped hard for this next match.
This was my favorite match on the card here.
Kevin Owens, in quotations with a big question mark, defeated Braun Strowman in a steel cage match?
No.
Well, not in the way that you'd think he did anyways.
No. For those of you who didn't see this match, Braun Strowman threw him
Chokeslam
through the announce table.
from the top of the steel cage. So, therefore, Kevin Owens' feet hit the floor first, and he wins. But the fact that
Is
he
that a
looked like
rib
he
on the
had a
greatest
little...
Royal Rumble match between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar?
No, I think that's just a, hey, everybody remembers Undertaker and Mick Foley, right?
Yeah, but...
Well, I guess Kevin Owens is the new Mick Foley.
There isn't a lid on the... There is no lid on the steel cage. There's no
well,
roof.
If they put a roof on it, then it would be... Then they would
Then
get
it would be
accused-
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
then it would be
they'd
Mick Foley.
and then they would be accused of just copy and pasting the same thing.
Well, they're still being accused of that.
But it's a cage and not a cell. So technically WWE is all, oh ho ho, we pulled a fast one on you, wrestling fans.
Yeah. WWE have a thing where they think that they can run the same program twice and it'll work. Prime example of this in the past couple weeks, Dr. Shelby. Need I say more?
I saw him when I was watching Raw and Smackdown this week on a commercial for something completely different. And
Did you actually?
Yeah, it was like an insurance commercial or something, and I just jumped and like, hey, that guy's Dr. Shelby.
Yeah. So, Kevin Owens won, sort of.
He won. His feet hit the floor first, even though he had a hard time getting to his feet after the fact that he kind of took a 20 feet plunge through an announce table?
I don't think it's... Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess, because he was...
Because
Yeah.
the ring is like 2 feet,
The ring is not 2 feet.
a foot and a half high,
4 feet.
and then the top rope,
The ring is 4 feet. The
Then
top
how
rope
high
is
is-
9 feet.
and then you have a cage over that.
So a good 20, 30
It's
feet.
just about 20 feet, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Bludgeon Brothers defeating Team Hell No to retain the titles here.
Now, before the show even started, we were treated to a nice video package of the Bludgeon Brothers beating up Kane and Daniel Bryan. They put Kane's ankle in a door and just beat on the door with their bludgeons.
With their bludgeons.
They're bludgeons. They're not the Hammer Brothers. They're the Bludgeon Brothers.
Well, yeah, but you... Yeah, you work in construction. When have you ever heard the phrase, "Hey, I need to bludgeon this screw into the wall here"?
I need to bludgeon. I have an urge to bludgeon. I've never... Poor word choice, but you can't get behind it. They are the Bludgeon Brothers, and they did bludgeon Kane's ankle, which left him with a big question mark, but he did come out later on in a boot cast.
Well, what this is probably going to do is kill Kane for a while, because he did win the mayoral race in Knox County.
He's the mayor. He passed Rusev Day as an official holiday in that county.
Yeah.
He's got mayoring to do, which I was disappointed. When Kane came back, he didn't have a sash that said mayor. I would have loved that.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Just the Demon Kane with a mayor sash.
Yeah. All right, now we see what wrestling fans now have come to expect out of Roman Reigns with Bobby Lashley defeating him via pinfall. Now, the chants were normal for Roman Reigns matches. Rusev, you know you're bad when you're getting chants for other wrestlers in your match.
I loved it. The fact that we were having Raw's 2 number ones go head to head, and all anybody cared about was Rusev.
Well, Rusev is more over than both of those guys combined.
Absolutely.
But that's a different story. Raw Women's Championship.
Mediocre match.
I am actually happy with, despite the fact that I don't agree with Alexa Bliss as a champion, I am happy with the finish for this. There was a spot where Ronda Rousey was I think it was Mickie James that was beating up on Natalia.
Yeah, and then
Alexa
Ronda
Bliss
Rousey
joined
jumped
in as well.
and then
Ronda Rousey said that's it, and she started beating the crap out of everybody.
Yeah, but it's an Extreme Rules match, so it's perfectly legal. Which is why, did you really have to suspend Rousey for this angle? You didn't have to have her suspended. You didn't have to have her sitting ringside like John Cena at WrestleMania. it was an Extreme Rules match. You could have just had Ronda come out of the back.
Yep.
But it was cool, just like they did at WrestleMania. Let's cut to Ronda Rousey in the crowd.
Yeah. Okay. Quickly before we go to commercial break here, WWE Championship match. AJ Styles defeats Rusev via pinfall to retain the title. What do you think about this one? What did you think about Rusev in this match?
I don't know if it's AJ helping carry Rusev. I don't think Rusev needs much carrying. That being said, it was the best Rusev match I've seen yet. I think it was match of the night. I think Rusev was amazing. AJ did everything he could to get to the end of that match. It was a brilliant finish. Rusev looked like he had him, almost had him, which is what you want. If you want your fans and this big over thing like Rusev Day, and you're going to take it away from them, you really got to tease them and put it in their face before you pull back and say, psych, and still WWE Champion AJ Styles.
Right. Now on to what some call what shouldn't have been the main event.
10, 9, 8. Oh, man. The fans of this 30-minute Iron Man match between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins, all they cared about was the clock. They didn't care about the match.
They ended up, I don't know if you noticed, they took it off live on the screen there.
Yeah.
But what happened, I had seen online, there were some fans that pulled out their phones, were watching it on the network, and the clock was still up on the network, on the screen on the network.
Yeah.
So they still had it timed, and it was everything was perfectly fine.
Because it was still on the television broadcast. Blech. It was still on the television broadcast, the clock, but it was a very good match. I agreed with it. I like Dolph Ziggler coming from behind.
Yeah, but you almost knew. Like, as soon as...
Oh, yeah, it was guaranteed. Like, I could have told you that Drew McIntyre at some point was going to run over Seth Rollins and Dolph was going to get a pin off of it. But Dolph getting 3 pins off of it, that was cool.
Yeah. Well, Extreme Rules happened, and now we look forward to SummerSlam. In the next segment here on the show, we are going to be talking Raw and Smackdown. The little bit of news coming out of SummerSlam as well. You're listening to CKDJ 1079. This is Wrestling with Ideas.
This is Wes Briscoe, and you're listening to Wrestling with Ideas.
Welcome back inside the CKDJ studios right here for Wrestling with Ideas. CKDJ 1079, Ottawa's new music. How's it going, guys? Colin the Music Man Scully here. And now we shift to
Monday Night
TV show.
Raw.
As you heard, first we've got Monday Night Raw. Now, you fell asleep during Monday Night Raw, you had told me.
I did. I wasn't having a very good stream. I got bored and I decided to watch something else, and then I started watching Raw again when my stream got better, and I fell asleep. So I watched some of Raw. What I saw wasn't that great, and I was not a big fan of this week's Raw, although I did like the opening segment.
Right. Now, the only problem necessarily that I have with the opening segment, it was 20 minutes long.
Yes, it was way too long.
Why does a segment where we know that Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley are going to be the people to face off for the number one contendership?
Well, I mean,
why does it need to happen? Why does it need to be 20 minutes?
It was definitely an unnecessary step. You have Bobby Lashley, who won his chance, arguably, to face Brock Lesnar already, and now they're just like, oh yeah, no, he just won a match. He's not number one contender.
Right.
Now we're going to have this match to decide the number one contender. Oh, by the way, it's going to be Roman versus Bobby Lashley.
Which is what we basically knew right from the get-go.
Which is what we just had, and it was an unnecessary step.
Right.
But, like I said, I was a big fan of Kurt coming out and saying that Brock is going to defend his title at SummerSlam. And then you have everybody coming out and saying, I want a piece of Lesnar. And then the next guy comes out and says, no, screw you. I want a piece of Lesnar.
Yeah. Now, if you ask me, there were what, 6 guys that were in the ring at one point that all thought that they had. The only people, in my honest opinion, the only people that deserve a legitimate shot, Finn Balor.
Yep.
Never has he had his rematch yet?
He hasn't even asked for it yet.
Well, what the hell happened on Monday? Is that not him asking for his rematch?
No. If he asked for a rematch, he'd get the rematch. This is him being like, I was a Universal Champ once, and Kurt Angle just being like, you know what? You're right. You were. So here's your chance. Not saying that he's the number 1 contender. He's saying, I'm going to give you another chance to be number 1 contender. Which I'm pretty sure they're playing this out with both Finn Balor and Kevin Owens until they actually get their one-on-one matches.
He's the only guy in the ring that's ever held the belt.
Yep.
How does him not coming out, right? Like, how? Here's what I understand what you're saying about it, how it being like it's a chance, blah, whatever.
They're just going to run this story into the ground until they run out of ideas. And then when they run out of ideas, they're going to go to their ex-champs having a shot because they were champs so much. I'm not saying that's 100%. I don't work for the WWE, but that's definitely the vibes I'm getting from seeing Kevin Owens not wasted, but in a spot with Braun Strowman away from the title and Finn Balor always being an arm's reach away from the title.
Right. Now, we've got Drew McIntyre. In the first match on the card here, we had Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. Now,
spoiler alert, Roman wins.
Yeah. No, this isn't to say Drew McIntyre, I believe he is a future champion.
Absolutely.
At some point very soon, he will hold that belt.
I'm surprised that he wasn't the Intercontinental Champion and it wasn't Dolph being the number 2.
Really?
I thought it was going to be Dolph is already...
You thought it was going to be the big guy? You thought it was going to be a little Enzo thing again?
No, I didn't. I thought it was going to be Big Cass is going to... Not Big Cass. Big Drew. Big Drew was going to be the Intercontinental Champion and Dolph was going to be the sidekick. That's what I thought it was going to be. But Dolph was the Intercontinental Champion and Drew's the sidekick, which means as the sidekick, he says, Dolph's got a championship. I want one too. Brock Lesnar, I'm coming for you. And he's not coming for Brock Lesnar anytime soon.
No, because Brock Lesnar isn't even coming to get his paycheck to begin with.
Oh, he gets his paychecks in the mail.
Well, does he deserve them?
No.
There you go. Okay, we should do the rest of the show. No, we shouldn't. That will not turn out well. Spoiler alert, Roman Reigns wins, yada, yada, yada. They all looked good in the match.
Yep, especially McIntyre, his job is to run people over, and he does a great job.
He's one of the last big guys who's actually credible.
Mobile big guys, I'd say.
He's one of the last mobile big guys that's actually credible as a big guy.
Yep. Like, Braun Strowman, sure, he's impressive when he does stuff like a kick up, but you don't see Braun Strowman doing moonsaults or Claymore drop kicks.
You can in WWE 2K. No.
Yeah.
Up next, we've got Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler.
Missed this match. Don't care. Bobby Roode wasn't going to win it. He's in limbo right now.
Yep. Big deal. I was thinking last night, how awesome would it have been if Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and The Miz were wrestlers in late 90s WCW? Because then, hear me out on this, okay? Hear me out. I think you know where I might be going with this. Dolph Ziggler, this is a stable. This is like, hear me out on this. This is a new stable, and I want you to come up with a name for it. Dolph Ziggler as like the show off, like the early show off. Dashing Cody Rhodes. The Miz, Bobby Roode, and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
Huh, you need a name for this stable.
Yes.
Oh, boy. That is an interesting stable, especially with Mr. Wonderful in there.
Well, I mean, Mr. Wonderful and Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Well, I wasn't expecting Mr. Wonderful to be even part of this conversation.
Well, I mean, that's why I said explicitly late 90s WCW.
Okay, well, if I had to call that, it'd have to be some anti-WWE, not WWE. It might be anti-WWE, but it'd have to be an anti-NWO stable. So you wouldn't want to call it anything like the Wolf Pack. I don't know. This is completely unheard of. This is out of left field for me. Usually I'm prepared for some out of left field, but right now you got me stumped.
There you go.
Although I'm pretty sure, according to late 90s WCW, they'd have a stupid name like the Show-Offs or something like that.
The Hollywood.
If
the
I know
Hollywood-
90s WCW, they wouldn't give them a very good name. And they'd probably have Disco Inferno at some point.
I could just imagine Disco Inferno. Like, the five of them are in a match, and then Disco Inferno's like that kid that wants to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Like,
And they
he's
don't
like-
let him in. The No Homers Club.
Yeah, like the He-Man Woman Haters Club or whatever the hell that was. Little Rascals kind of thing.
Yo, that's a good name for that stable, the Little Rascals. Dolph Ziggler, really good at getting under your skin. Bobby Roode, when he's a heel, good at getting under your skin. Wonderful as a heel, under your skin. It's not a very clever name, but that's my pick for that stable.
Little Rascals?
The Little Rascals.
Okay.
With
You
a Z.
guys-
With a Z at the end. Like the Radicals. With a Z. The Little Rascals.
I don't want.
Or maybe just the Rascals. You don't have to have little.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre's in there. He's not little.
He's. Yeah. Anyways, if you guys have a better name for that stable, please tweet either one of us. But now we get back to what we're actually supposed to be talking about. Monday Night Raw from this past Monday. We had Mojo Rawley versus Tyler Breeze.
I like Tyler Breeze. He didn't win, but I still like him.
Yep. Alicia, I can read
She's
sometimes.
back. Alicia Fox is on
Dana
TV.
Brooke versus Bailey and Sasha Banks. Now, remember that bit earlier in the show when I said that WWE like to run programs twice at once?
You mean
Or
sometimes they
twice in a
recycle their
row.
old programming, but it looks like they're recycling what just happened a couple weeks ago with this Sasha Bailey thing. Are they going to fight? Are they not going to fight? I'm tired of waiting.
Are they
Next.
maybe the first women's tag team champions?
I doubt it. They can't get along for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden they get along again. It'll be Team Hell No, female version.
Vince Russo, is that you?
Bro.
The match does go to no finish. The match does go to a no contest, although no finish is announced because, really, who cares?
I was asleep. I missed it.
Yeah, the Ascension.
They were on TV?
I know.
Yes!
It's amazing.
I'm not even mad that they lost to
No,
the
they're
new.
just on TV for once.
They were on TV. That's great.
It's like the Raw Tag Team Champion. It's like the Raw Tag Team division actually means something again.
Yeah, which is great. But of course, they faced the B team. The B team being the new
Holy
world
crap!
champions.
Talk
to
about
defend.
teams that haven't been on TV in a while. The Authors of Pain.
They were on last week.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Authors of Pain were on, but before that, it was
Before that, yeah. See,
it was
okay.
a very big
So, yeah.
slumber.
Versus Titus Worldwide.
Well, I
Another
don't want to get into a little controversy here, but we know Hogan is back in the Hall of Fame, and
I was waiting for you to talk about Hogan.
And Titus isn't very happy. Now, it's understandable why Titus isn't very happy, but I have to consider the fact that Titus O'Neil's whole career at this point is just a meme.
Yeah.
And that why he's mad, like he has every right to be mad, but I just don't take him seriously because his character on TV and what he's doing to himself as for himself is just a meme. Titus, you're a meme. Next.
Yep. Ember Moon versus Sarah Logan.
Sarah Logan with the
Sarah
surprise
Logan actually looks
win.
great.
Yeah.
We go backstage with Elias as he's getting mic'd up.
Hello, I am Elias.
He can't play guitar.
He can play guitar.
He
He
ca-
just does it poorly because he's a heel. Watch, when Elias turns face.
Is the only reason that he plays guitar is to piss off guitar players.
No, the only reason he plays guitar is so that he has something that's louder than the boos. So when somebody's booing him, he's like, oh, I can't hear you.
He does it the other way, but it's fine.
Yeah.
But
yes.
now, in the main event, we've got Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins versus Elias for the second spot in the WWE Universal Championship #1 contenders qualifying match.
It was a close one to call, but Lashley wins.
Yeah. Lashley wins. Now we've got Reigns versus Lashley 2 next week. Let's just hope that Reigns versus Lashley 2 is better than Reigns versus Lesnar 2.
No, it's gonna be better than that.
Reigns versus Lesnar 5.
Reigns v. Lashley v. Lesnar 3.
Don't.
It's gonna
Don't.
happen.
It's no.
I'm telling you right now, it's gonna
No.
happen. Watch next week on Raw. They'll go to a no contest, and it'll be a triple threat at SummerSlam somehow.
All right. So, moving quickly, we're moving to SmackDown. We've got time. It's fine. Moving to SmackDown. SmackDown, I think you would agree with me in saying that it was the better television show of the two this week.
This week, absolutely.
Right.
SmackDown kept me awake. I could actually watch it.
Yep. We opened the show with a very interesting segment on the part of The Miz. We are going to do a watch along of this full segment, but we are not going to talk over this because I'm going to have to edit it for copyright.
Tonight we pay our final respects to one of the greatest tag teams of all time and two of the worst
we
friends
see
ever,
Miz here
Daniel
beginning to talk
Bryan
about
and Kane.
The death of Daniel Bryan.
I told
and
each and
Kane
every one
also.
of you how this would end,
R.I.P.
and I said Kane was
Miz
nothing
is
more than a
doing
broken down
eulogy. He
I
is
was proven
looking
right.
back on
I'm
the
also
career
right about your
Kane
little bogus hero, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was never, and I mean never, a world-beating
Kane
wrestler
broken down
like he
old
claimed to be.
and
Daniel Bryan is nothing more
He was
than
a
a
broken down old
hound, obsessed with setting
When he
impossible
calls Daniel Bryan
goals
a goat,
to
Daniel
try
Bryan at the
and
end of the
remain
segment comes out and
relevant.
beats up all of his security
That's the
personnel, but not
reason
The Miz.
for this sappy team
Which-
hell
why?
no reunion.
He's
Not to win
The
the tag
Miz.
team
And
championships.
he's
It's so Daniel Bryan
awesome.
can roll out his greatest.
When my
hits,
head goes
but
up, your
newsflash,
mouth goes
Daniel,
shut.
No one's buying the
Why does
album.
that sound like something? Can you do that?
And as sad as
Jeez. Hey, you know, what do we got over here? Couple haters. My hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Bada boom, realest guy in the room. How you doing?
My life has been complete. Anyways, so yeah, that happened. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan thing. This feud is going to be one of the better singles feuds coming out of.
Man, I hope we don't even see them touch until WrestleMania. I just want to see
You
them.
want to see Miz and Daniel Bryan touch? Jonathan Stewart.
I don't want to see them touch until WrestleMania. I don't want them to be near each other. Kind of like what they did with Taz and Sabu back in ECW, where they had a feud
Yeah.
for almost a year and didn't wrestle, didn't even look at each other. They just hated each other and cut promos on each other and didn't resort to violence or physicality until a year later. That's what I want to see out of this at WrestleMania. I want to see Daniel Bryan coming out trying to get a piece of The Miz, and The Miz slips away every time. That's what I want to see in this feud.
Up next, we've got more Randy Orton.
He hears voices in his head.
Now, before this though, there is an interesting promo cut by Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, I'm paraphrasing this a little bit here because I was watching this part of SmackDown. Jeff Hardy is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, really. Jeff Hardy, he's got the face paint on. He looks like Jeff Hardy.
Is it?
He
That's the
sounds
Will-O-Wisp.
He
face
sounds
paint?
like Jeff Hardy. I don't know. I can't say anything else because then it's just gonna go weird. He smells like Jeff Hardy. Anyways. But he is no longer Jeff Hardy after Shinsuke Nakamura stripped him of the Universal Championship, United States Championship.
Yeah, he's kind of like not broken,
But he's not
Jeff Hardy, not
like-
Will-O-the-Wisp.
not Brother Nero.
He's not Brother Nero. He's not Will-O-the-Wisp. He's not Team Extreme. He's like floating in the abyss of everything. He's like just there. I'm pretty sure that he's going to disappear for a while.
Hardy?
Hardy. I'm pretty sure Jeff Hardy's going to disappear. I think he has some injuries that are bothering him, and I think this is them writing him
Nakamura
off.
made him fade away and classify himself as obsolete.
Yeah, obsolete.
Thank you. Now we've got Andrade Cien Almas versus AJ Styles. Thank God
Yeah, it was a pretty good filler match.
they woke up.
It was a great filler match. It was all right. Almost isn't anywhere near the title shot. But we'll put him in with AJ, see what happens, and we got a pretty decent match out of it.
This is going to be great later on. 6 months, 8 months.
I don't think it's gonna happen again. Not for a title, anyways.
No.
No, I don't think AJ, unless AJ loses the world title and gets the U.S. title again, because I'm pretty sure that we're gonna have Cien Almas as a United States champion, much similar to what they did with Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah. Well.
Hey, foreign heels, man, especially the Spanish ones.
How many Spanish heels have held the U.S. championship before?
All of them.
All of them.
I think even Chavo Guerrero qualifies as that. And when Chavo Guerrero gets a title in WWE, it's a cold day in hell. Ooh, Chavo.
Yep. Becky Lynch versus Mandy Rose. This was a great match. Becky Lynch she's got like a 7, I think it's now.
Yeah,
Her
Becky
winning
Lynch
streak
is on a
like
mini
7 or
winning
something.
streak.
Right. We've got the best of the rest here. Joe killed you, or in this case, Joe killed the perfect 10
I
Dillinger.
was talking to my friend. He was watching this match as well, and he sent me one message. Joe has no chill, which is great.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's just a big, angry Samoan, and that's what you want. We had another Sanity New Day match after that.
Eric Young he's really good.
He
I
was
don't
good
think
in
people give
TNA.
him as much credit as
He was the top of TNA.
Now, what was his better angle in TNA? When he was Joseph Park / Abyss's guy, or when he was Super Eric?
I didn't really follow much TNA. I couldn't tell you what he was doing in TNA.
Okay.
But I don't think Sanity is a very good gimmick for him.
Really?
But he does a good job. I just want to see Eric Young out of this culty thing and him being him. Kind of like just a guy who beats up people, kind of like a Bob Holly. I want him to have more success than Bob Holly, but I want to just see him do that. Like, hey, I know what? I'm going to beat people up, and then maybe he'll give me a towel.
Well, if you listen, there's an episode of Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard where he talks about...
Hey, I got an idea. How about I beat up everybody, and you give me the title?
There you go. Great ideas.
Thurman
we
Sparky
have to wrestle
Plug.
with.
Hi, I'm Thurman Plug, but my friends call me Sparky.
Okay. We are going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, we are going to have the third edition of Doctor's Orders featuring your commentator of choice, Dr. Bob. And then after that, we are going to wrap things up here. We're just going to talk about some little tidbits coming out, maybe some more title match rumors. We can also do some alternate commentary on a match if you'd like there, bud. Sounds like that's the plan. You're listening to Wrestling with Ideas right here on CKDJ 1079, Ottawa's new music.
American males, American males, American males, American males.
I'm buff on the stuff and the girls just can't get enough.
Hey, this is Buck Bagwell, and you're listening to Wrestling with Ideas.
Welcome back inside the CKDJ studios right here for Wrestling with Ideas on CKDJ 1079, Ottawa's new music. This is the show that challenges your thoughts and wrestles with ideas. I am the music man, Colin Scully. Welcome to Volume 4 of the Doctor's Orders with your commentator of choice and your host, Dr. Bob.
Thank you, Skulky. So far, I've had a lot of great feedback. Thank you, fans. It's been so quick. I mean, 4 volumes or 3 volumes down, the 4th one right now already. It feels like just yesterday we started. But the match that I want to bring up is a funny, quirky one. Again, I want to bring you some interesting stuff, some stuff you'll enjoy searching out, and not a typical matchup that you will rewatch, but one that I think is definitely kind of stuck in my brain for how kind of weird, zany, funny it was. July 12th, 1998, WCW Bash at the Beach. Now, I am huge fan of Eddie Guerrero, as is probably, hopefully, everybody listening to this. He's absolutely one of the best all around, if not the best, in terms of the full package. We had the chance, a lot of my friends and I, and to see Chavo Guerrero actually live at a previous Fighting Back here in Ottawa. Of course, Fighting Back happening August
29th, I think.
Oh, we might be past it already.
Yeah, no.
Depending on when we get. Okay, cool.
No, this will be.
Yeah, okay. Pulling back the curtain a little bit there. But August of 2018 here. More information to come. Anyways, previously, Chavo's at Fighting Back. And so this match is one that I always remember with certain other finishes. Specifically remember it because of how just I'd never seen anything like that before. So Chavo and Eddie at this point in July, or in 1998 rather, have been having a feud. Eddie actually plays, crazy enough, the straight man here, where Chavo plays crazy. And Chavo comes in, and this was when he did the whole Eddie is my favorite wrestler. He's sort of latching on. Eddie wants nothing to do with him. Very unlike the Guerrero, the Los Guerreros that we see later on, where they're on the same page. But Chavo has just gone crazy at this point. Not a vicious, angry crazy, but more of a weird, zany crazy with kind of vicious streaks. So it's something that was very interesting to watch. And Chavo and Eddie on this pay-per-view have been building up for a hair match. Loser having his hair shaved. Knowing kind of going into this, you kind of had the sense that Eddie was all around much better in every facet than Chavo, but Chavo was trying to break out of his shadow, and this kind of drove him crazy as well. Before this match, due to something on Nitro that I can't really remember at this point, Chavo and Stevie Ray had a match set up. Stevie Ray, of course, the brother of Booker T, part of Harlem Heat. Chavo comes into this pay-per-view really pushing that whole crazy thing. He comes in with a super soaker. He has a floaty around his waist because of the Bash at the Beach type idea, and he knows he has to have this match. Eddie Guerrero earlier in the night has insinuated that Stevie's gonna wipe the floor with him because he's a much bigger, more established wrestler at this point than Chavo, being part of the world famous Harlem Heat. So Eddie thinks he's gonna have a easy way of this, just pick up where Chavo loses and then just kind of wipe the floor of him. So Chavo, in his insane sort of crazy mind here, says, okay, I'm gonna do something even weirder to kind of throw Eddie off, and he goes in for a handshake with Stevie. Stevie accepts it. They go, and he submits right away based off the handshake, because the next match afterwards is going to be Eddie. So even though you maybe thought I was going to talk about Eddie versus Chavo, I'm talking about Chavo versus Stevie Ray from Bash at the Beach. Stevie Ray gets the win, is very angry that he hasn't had a chance to fight. Chavo is just in crazy. Guerrero and Eddie is incensed that they have to have the match. Afterwards, Eddie, of course, beats him, shaves Chavo's head. But wait, Chavo takes the razor himself, shaves his own head with a joyous glee that further pushes his little crazy. And I think the whole angle with Chavo and Eddie really propelled Chavo in his career, and is one that I really remember. WCW has had some kind of crazy ideas, and I love this whole angle, love the whole matchup that they had afterwards, and Eddie Chavo was there right before. Chavo and Stevie Ray was there before. Also on the card at Bash of the Beach, not going to go through all that stuff, but there was Karl Malone, Dennis Rodman, NFL's Kevin Green. It was in a page where WCW wanted to bring in all these celebrities, and the main event was actually Hogan and Rodman. Rodzilla the Worm versus DDP and Karl Malone, and a tag team match that actually
ringside for the team of Hollywood Hogan and Dennis Rodman was The Disciple. Now, the
Booty Man,
the fans of earlier WWF circa 1985 through to 1990 might know The Disciple as Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
He also wrestled in WCW as a Zodiac. And if you remember the Booty Man gimmick, do you remember his finisher? It was the high knee.
Yeah.
The high knee.
Yeah.
As a big running upward knee. And actually the WCW NBA match ended up being over 20 minutes, which was phenomenal. I think I think sometimes the main events of WCW were very questionable, but they drew over 10,000 people, and I had fun with at least the Chavo and Eddie stuff on that one. Yeah. Go watch all of Bash at Beach. There's some good stuff on there as well, and definitely watch Chavo versus Stevie Ray, and by proxy Chavo versus Eddie. Thanks, everybody. This has been Volume 4 of The Doctor's Order. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know online if you're looking forward to seeing any match reviews. If not, I'm going to keep on going with all these crazy ones and hopefully keep on enjoying it. Thanks, Colin Gibson. I appreciate it.
Hey, everyone. This is PCO Pierre Colwell, and you're listening to Wrestling with Ideas at PCO.
We're not the Mounties. We're handsome, we're brave, we're strong. We're not the Mounties, 'cause we enforce the law. You can try to run, but you can never hide. Unlike the Mounties, we always get our man. We're not the Mounties. We're handsome, we're brave, we're strong.
CKDJ Studios right here for Wrestling with Ideas. CKDJ 1079, Ottawa's new music. That about wraps things up here on episode 114. But as we've got the question master, Jonathan Skuse. Well, you may be twice the radio host that I am, but I got half the brain that you do. Psycho Sid in the building. I got some questions. Goddamn. He's a heel. All right. I got a question for CD Guy. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. We like to talk about jokey old wrestling, like the oddities and stuff. Speaking of which, what's your favorite oddities match? Anything with Kurgan in it. Their last one. But the real question I have for you, Mr. Scully, is that when I was talking to my friend, I asked him, if I was a Dudley boy in the Dudley family, what would my name be? And we had a bunch of stuff pop up. Scusi B. Dudley, Dr. Jonathan Dudley, Skew Squire. But we came down to the conclusion that if I was a Dudley boy in ECW, I would be Sexual Tyrannosaur Dudley, or STD for short. And I was wondering, what would your Dudley boy's moniker be, Mr. Scully? That's a good question. I feel like you'd probably do a better job of coming up with one for me than I would coming up for one myself. Mulder Scully Dudley? Oh, if someone makes another damn X-Files joke on this show, it'll be just as bad as when people were making hornswoggle jokes about Gibby. Everybody's got their thing, man. Yours is going to be the X-Files. Okay. But no, there's Mulder Scully Dudley. That's one. You're the CD guy, so why wouldn't you be like CD Dudley? Wait, that's it. What does the CD in CD Dudley stand for, though? Compensating degenerate? Sure. Wow. Sure. First one. Compensating degenerate or CD Dudley? C-double-D. CD Dudley. Sounds good. All right. Does the question master have anything else? Well, we're coming out of left field here. Have you heard, and this is my question, and it also might lead to a little discussion about what's going on in the life of Dana Warrior? I have a little bit. Something about spirits, I thought. The spirit of the warrior is alive and well, and I'm haunting my wife's house. The ultimate warrior never rests. Yeah, apparently, according to Dana Warrior, her house is haunted by the spirit of her husband, the Ultimate Warrior. Right. Now, this house that they're talking about is also haunted from what I'm seeing here. They bought a 10-acre home outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico. That was haunted. It was built by a Chicago debutante on tribal land. Oh, boy. Indian burial ground. Here we go. Yep. So it was built on a graveyard, number one. Yeah, and there's a couple. She's been claiming that a bunch of ghost-like stuff has been happening. Like, all of a sudden, Babies.
Babies. She hears babies crying. She'll hear voices that aren't there. Doors will open and close. And she says sometimes she even hears Warrior's voice.
Then she sometimes even feels his body move. Wait, no, that's not what that says. Then she felt him move out of her body. What?
It says that she's felt the spirit, so like the ghost, come out of her and then stand behind her as if he was walking through her, kind of. Like you'd see in a movie where a ghost walks right through you and you get a chill and all of a sudden there's a ghost.
Right.
But
it's gotten to a point even with her kids, with Dana Warrior's kids. Now, at a hotel in Indiana, the daughter's name is Indiana. I can read things. Indiana, the daughter, had been given the nickname of Ladybug by her late father. Suddenly, a ladybug landed on their hotel room window. Indiana asked her mother, "Mommy, do you see that?" Dana Warrior replied, "Yes, that is Daddy. That is Daddy, and Daddy is telling you that it will always be okay, and he will always be there."
Age depending on age of Indiana, that is. I would vouch that Dana Warrior is a crackpot. But if it's a little kid, I'd say maybe 5 and under, it would make sense to me. But if Indiana was over 5 years old at the time, I would say that she's a crackpot.
Indiana or Dana?
Dana Warrior is a crackpot. But that's just my opinion. I'm sorry, Dana Warrior, if you listen to the show. I'm pretty sure if you tweet at me at No Excuse on Twitter, we can come to some sort of agreement. But I know you won't, because you probably don't listen to this show.
I would be surprised. Hey, Dana, I'm sorry. Jonathan Excuses, his speaking and what he's been saying about you does not reflect my views of you. And if you are listening to this show, I'd love to have you on for an interview. You can contact me on Twitter at CD_TheMusicMan. We can go from there. But I am right now trying to still see if I can find. So Indiana was born in 2000, and that means absolutely nothing.
Untitled article, mumbo jumbo. But
this is after the day. This is after the Ultimate Warrior passed.
Yes.
That this incident happened in the hotel.
It is quite plausible.
Which means that Indiana Warrior, I guess,
would be max 18 years old. Right now.
Well, no, right now she would be 18, but at the time she was 14.
So, yeah, there goes.
Yep, Dana
sorry, Dana, I still think you're a crackpot.
Yeah, sure. Do you have any other questions before we wrap things up here, Jonathan?
Yeah, I've got one question. What's your favorite manager pre-E, so WWF? Favorite manager.
So back when managers were actually managers.
Yeah, we're talking like Jimmy Hart, and we're talking like Jim Cornette, and we're talking about Brother Love, I love you.
See, I've been watching a lot of old school stuff recently. I've come to appreciate the art of what a manager used to be.
Oh, absolutely.
Like back when managers were managers back in like the 80s and 90s, so pre-E.
Yeah.
You had guys like Jim Cornette, Bobby Heenan, Brother Love, Paulie Dangerously
with his giant
Paul
cell phone.
Bearer.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Man,
this almost sounds like a cross between Paul Bearer and Jim Cornette. Goddamn.
Double mayo, extra bacon, yes, Undertaker, and I want a large cola, and I don't want any lettuce or mayo.
2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip,
Jim
number
Cornette's
7,
order.
2 number 7s, 1 with cheese, and a large soda.
But bro, what is your favorite WWF manager?
Jim Cornette.
Why does Jim Cornette have a racket?
Because managers had weapons and Jim Cornette.
He don't play tennis.
He don't play tennis.
He don't play tennis?
Yeah, but he uses it the wrong way to hit people.
Yep, that's true.
That's what it is.
If anybody's curious as to what my opinion is, I know it's a little bit of a gray area.
Go. Please, I'd like to hear your opinion.
It's not really a manager, but I'd have to say back when Spike Dudley was with the Dudley Boys in WWF, that's my favorite manager. Spike! Get the towels! Is my favorite. Because you had, I think it was Christian and Chris Jericho as a tag team on the ramp, and the Dudley Boys stole their clothes, wrapped in towels. Spike! Get the towels! Boom. You want to see Chris Jericho's dong? Well, you don't actually see it in that episode, but with a little imagination in an early 2000s episode of Raw, with a little imagination, there's Naked Jericho for you.
Early 2000s episode of Raw was raunchy in itself. The one thing that comes to mind, the Edge and Lita. I don't need to say anything else.
No, that's E, not F.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Because,
Katie Vick.
Katie Vick. I don't know if that's E or F. I'm pretty sure that's 2003 gray area. But Katie Vick is definitely one of those things. With Triple H, Kane. Yeah, it's the 2003 because Kane unmasked that year. After this feud.
Was it that late?
This is
October
Kane's
21st, 2002.
This is Kane's unmasking feud, where it carried over into 2003-ish with Triple H Kane feud, and he unmasked, and RVD was there. Remember?
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this is a good spot to end things off here. Episode 114 of Wrestling with Ideas. Thank you, Jonathan, for coming by again. If you want to come back next week, more than welcome to. I feel like I do better with a co-host anyways.
All right.
That was the first non-wrestling impression you've ever done on this show.
You got it, man.
Okay, thanks. You can follow me on Twitter at CD_TheMusicMan. You can follow Jonathan. Actually, no, it's not CD_TheMusicMan anymore. I forget what my Twitter handle is now because I just changed it this morning. But
that's not important. You can follow me at No Excuse, NOEXSKUCE.
Goose. Yeah, you can follow the show at Wrestling Capital W Ideas. You can check us out at wrestlingwithideas.podbean.com. You can check us out at wrestlingwithideas.com. Jonathan, why don't you tell the people what your next article is going to be about?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking about writing something. I'm thinking about writing about the Macho Man. So if there's any topics that you want me to cover in the article, tweet at me and I'll do my best. Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. And as always, have a good one.
Hey, this is MJF, and you're listening to Wrestling with Ideas, unfortunately. Goodbye.
Because my name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you. And you know it.
I'm not a narcissist. It's only a little flame. I'm not an arsonist. It's only a little pill. I'm not a pharmacist. It's only a little love. I'm not a narcissist. I feel marvelous. I'm feeling better than I ever felt.
You have just listened to the greatest wrestling show on the planet.
If you want to listen to older episodes of the show, including full interviews, make sure you check out Wrestling with Ideas on Podbean and on the Podbean app, or listen to us on our new SoundCloud page. We can also be found on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Player FM, and many more.
Make sure you keep on tuning in every Thursday at 6 p.m. to Wrestle with Ideas.